Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Przemek. I'm the founder of Vizonare. We're building software for companies to manage their projects in physical spaces remotely. And today I'm going to talk about the practical applications of immersive technologies. Okay, that was worrying. So I want to highlight at first that we're going to focus on those practical applications so that you can think throughout the presentation what's your case and how you could apply it. If any of those examples is a great example for you to try, and I won't be deep diving on any specific technology or showing a complete landscape, but we will show what's most practical and go into a little more detail on from this side. And before I start, I want to check who we have in the audience. So could you please raise your hands who is an XR technology builder here? Okay, and who is from business enterprise that wants to innovate, adapt new technologies? Okay, perfect, thank you. So let's go. First, I'll cover the key technologies and one example for each, just to level the field for anyone here, so we know what we're dealing with. Then I'll tell you more about Vizonare and our case studies, because I can tell you more about them. Those are real case studies. And finally, we'll focus on you, your cases, and hopefully we'll have a very productive discussion about those cases so everyone can learn. And now, I have one question for the technical team, because I'm not seeing the screen here with the slides. Is it possible to show it? Oh, thank you, thanks. Okay, so first off, the augmented reality. So this is the technology that enables you to see the real world, but with the digital context. In practice, the value is that you don't have to imagine anything. This is your actual space. You can try something on in the space and see how it would really look like. And also, you don't have to recreate the entire virtual environment. And you can leave hints that are spatially aware. So a great example of that is field service. And there is a great case study that Chevron did with Microsoft, and they've used HoloLens and real-time communication to improve their efficiency when they're doing any maintenance work. Thanks to this, they didn't have to travel that much, the employees that would otherwise have to, and they've saved a lot of time. There's a public case study on it. And I want to highlight that augmented reality is possible not only with glasses, but with mobile devices, head-up displays. There are many more ways. And now, the second one is virtual reality, so total immersion. And thanks to this, it's easy to simulate things that aren't real or are very distant. And this is great for training employees, for example. And this is what Hilton Hotels does with Meta. And thanks to this, they could drastically reduce training time, but most of all, they can keep a high standard of training, even though their employees are in the hotels worldwide. And there is a turnaround of those employees. And virtual reality, of course, the best medium here is the glasses, because you can walk around, see everything in this virtual environment. Then there is 3D scanning. That's important because you can scan spaces and objects to bring them into those virtual or augmented realities. Otherwise, it's very costly to recreate them from scratch. And for this, you can use scanning rigs and professional services to have great precision, or mobile devices. This is now available in mobile devices. Even some of them have LiDAR scanner, a laser scanner that makes it more precise for those devices to capture. And a great example of use of this technology is virtual tours, because you can go in, capture the existing space, and make it available online. And this is what Matterport, with their partner Twin Moons, did with home fabrics in LA's fashion district. So they enabled for the store to be available online, even during the pandemic. And now they're saying that they also have a lot of traffic coming from online and then going into their stores. And then finally, what I'd like to mention is machine learning and AI, because this is what's usually powering a lot of the other technologies underneath. And you can hear about this technology a lot, but it's hard to see what it does. So it does all the processing, processing images, for example, detecting what are the different furniture types, so you can tell a chair, you can count the chairs in the room, for example. And this is only possible if you train a neural network about the different types of furniture with millions of examples. Very hard to describe mathematically how it would look like. And then one interesting case here that I wanted to mention is also creating views from different perspectives, like Street View in 3D, because it's possible now to just by taking a couple of pictures of a space or even a city to generate different perspectives, see it from all different perspectives that you didn't take the pictures from. So this makes it very easy and scalable. And now, at Vizonare, we combine those technologies, and we're putting pressure on these technologies to form a complete solution that's easy for anyone to do, that doesn't require CAD or 3D modeling experience, and we do it in 3 steps. One is that you can capture a space with a mobile device with a LiDAR scanner, so it's more precise. Then this will bring it into a web application that allows you the access to a 3D model of that space, and you can do measurements there, you can add nodes in there, or place some furniture, hardware, and then you can simulate how it would look like. And you can see it in augmented reality when you walk back into the space, or you can see it in virtual reality as well. And of course, I want to focus on the case studies that we did. So those are 4 AI-generated pictures, by the way, but those are real case studies. And let's start with James. James is a project manager at an event management company, and what matters is that it's a global event management company. So they have projects in different places, remote locations like Rome or New York, while they're headquartered in London. And thanks to immersive technologies, they don't have to travel, or at least someone on the team doesn't have to go on site. And they can save a lot of money on that time, as you will see in this example. And usually they would travel for surveys, but also to present any results for the customer. And thanks to this, they can present in 3D, so that's another advantage. And one more interesting example here also is internal collaboration, because they prepare 3D builds for some of the events, something custom. And they usually want the New York team to know how it would look like before making it, because these are costly mistakes if you produce something and it doesn't fit, or someone doesn't like it. The client in New York doesn't like it while they're prepared in London. So in this case, we have an example here of a Premier League suite. They did a scan of this Premier League suite, multiple suites. This is one example. And thanks to this, they didn't have to imagine the space. The happy designer, like in the picture, didn't have to go on site and could work remotely. And then, thanks to this, they produced quite accurate, very accurate 3D renders and could present it to their customers. They also offer AR and VR walkthroughs. And this was all done, I want to highlight, without a 3D model, like with the designer, but the project manager didn't have to do any CAD or 3D modeling work here. Sorry. Next up is real estate. So Maria works as a leasing manager, and she has to show spaces to clients, different spaces, So also that means travel a lot to different locations. She wants the clients to imagine their space, because then it's much more probable for them to make the deal. And also collaborate remotely with their team, so they can prepare some arrangements, even remove a wall, try on a different floor or something else. And also there is a value add that she creates marketing materials for the company. So in this case, we have a video showing how it worked for them. This is an actual case study as well. So as you can see, it's just a fragment of the scanning experience. It looks like recording a video, very easy to do. Then you get a 3D model. You can take measurements. You can see how it feels, looks like. You could redraw it, place furniture, and then you can walk back in with the customer or just send the iPad or have it available at this location. They can see the space and they could comment in 3D what they like, what they don't like, so we can adapt. Then there is a more technical case, Look, in safety and security. So here, Look needs to oversee the offices worldwide. This is a large tech company, actually, that has a central location for management of security. So they have to, often with a team of a couple people, travel for a couple of days to a site just to do a survey or to audit an existing space or punch list through all the devices they have there, see if everything is all right. And in the end, they also have to document the space. So that's a lot of work. And for Look, they use it to do the punch listing, do the survey audit, but also to create those designs. So for example, here is securing an entrance. They need to make sure with their team that they did a good job on covering the space. They can highlight it with the measurements, that they did it really according to design, but also comment and show it to their client, not client, in this case, the space owner, the facilities manager, that it won't look awful, that it will be actually something elegant. Then the last one is facilities and an office space manager. So here, this manager works at a large company that wants to also encourage their employees to work at their offices. So it's back to office policy encouragement. And they want to let them plan office space. They want to let them plan their office space for their teams and also allow them to prepare those space for special events. Like, for example, you'll see a funny example this time of a yoga class. But also, they use it with the vendors to collaborate on different things that they need to install on site, and also food catering and so on. So let's dive in. That's another video. You'll see that Amy prepares one scan, very quick scan. It's a couple of minutes of that space. Then she lets the employees design it. She can share this space, lets the employees design the layout, try it on. Then you will see that they can walk inside of it in augmented reality. It will recognize the space, of course, on another day even. And after they do it, the facilities team, like, she can execute on it. She can put the things in place, make sure everything is fine, and they're prepared for this workshop. Okay, so now let's talk about you. What are your use cases? Hopefully I've inspired some ideas. And let's not focus on just our solution, but technologies in general. It'd be great if you could share also what you think. And if you have any ideas, or maybe if you've introduced something, I think we can all learn from that. So, is there anyone, first of all, that'd like to share their existing use case or an idea that just popped into their head? Okay, please.
Thank you for that. And just to give some background, I'm an information systems consultant, so I have the kind of the background of looking at systems and processes and how to improve people through those. And so looking at the safety and security, I got a little bubble of an idea. I got super excited to think of a person going to a place to secure. But the thing is, I think about security from a digital perspective. So the idea that I have is there a way to develop, or to, instead of simulating real world scenarios, but more digital scenarios, to be able to look at security from a cyber perspective, say, okay, let me walk onto this floor and see all the computers in a way that I can see how they're behaving, and maybe anticipate if they're having issues, and be able to visually see it to allow somebody to quickly assess a plan.
Okay, I see. But that would be a plan, a layout of the desks, for example, or in real time?
It would be a real-time perspective, and it's a really basic example to say computer, but let's say systems that a person has, or kind of just a layout of a digital space. So the idea is basically we're scanning the world, but let's say we're trying to have a digital perspective, a digital world that we want to have within a room that a person can walk into and just look around, and it has all the elements that matter to them. And it's not physical based, it's more of a digital reflection of the world that they see. And for a security person, that's going to be the computers, the servers, the physical, all of that. And so that's their perspective.
Oh, I see. So it's a virtual world,
yes.
Virtual office. How to
Yeah.
secure the virtual office, for example. How these technologies can help also,
yes,
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think, that's a very interesting question. Thank you. So I think in this case, what immediately came to me is that you could use the machine learning and artificial intelligence just to see where the objects are also in that space. Maybe some objects can't be too close. So if you detect that people from different teams can see each other's content, for example, laptops, but they shouldn't because they have some inter-team, NDAs, that, for example, then they see like something blocks them. So they can't see the other screen or something like that, or a presentation, for example. So I think this could be automatic assessment of the situation and some cutoff. Or even that someone disappears. That sounds horrible, but I think for sure there would be some friendly way to do it. Okay. Any other questions? Any other ideas for the application? And thank you. Okay. Oh, thanks.
Thank you. So actually, your idea from earlier, and I don't know if this is what you meant, but it made me think of something where if you were looking at this sort of digital version of your office space and then could sort of look at it through different layers, sort of like you can do in Google Maps, like let me see the topography or the terrain view or whatever, but you're doing that with the systems themselves. So like, let me see, the processing power coming in and out of all the machines on this floor, or let me see the analytics of who's using what applications right now and how many hits we have on certain endpoints, or what, things like that. So basically taking that idea and going a little further to say, like, let me apply different lenses or layers to see what I care about in a given moment.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think that it could be very helpful showing you the digital context of what's physically happening, right? So what are the requests, for example, that someone makes, what they're doing right now, like in terms of security, of course, and network activity, considering work. But then also see what they're physically doing, so you could switch between the layers. Yeah, that's a very interesting concept. And I think that it's especially possible now that you need to have cameras in the room as well, so you can have computer vision algorithms that would analyze what's happening. You can map the space in real time as well. So that's possible, entirely possible. Yes, please.
Hi. I'm not really a tech person. I'm much more in entertainment, but so it might be basic for some people. I apologize. We're opening up a volumetric video studio in Vegas, and we're doing a project with a hotel in Cuba with like this performer, and we want to utilize the hotel to kind of. We're trying to combine Latin American music with Cuban music, Caribbean music. So the thought process is utilizing the hotel and the rooms to go into these different worlds. With the your mapping looks so easy, first of all, you know, and it looks so good. Can we, I'm like, wow, this is easier than I thought it was gonna be. Can we scan the artists, you know, the singers and so forth? Can we integrate those volumetric scans in the, you know, I saw you put in furniture and so forth. Can we put the singers there?
Yes.
Can I add volumetric scan people in the, doing their performance?
Yes, of course. Of course. So I think that's a great
Of
case
course,
again.
I don't mind
Amazing.
the of course.
I wish I cut half of the presentation and we could talk more. But yeah, let's also talk more in detail later. But what I wanted to say regarding this is, yeah, that the scan of the space could be a great, could be a stage or an anchoring point for the experience. And of course, the volumetric video is basically like a moving 3D model. So it's possible to integrate this and also scan any other objects, even by taking photos from different angles. This is quite easy for objects. And also implement them, integrate them into this scenery that you want to present. Yeah,
Perfect.
I think it
okay, if we
makes a
can
lot
talk
of sense.
afterwards, that'd be great.
Of course.
I appreciate. Yeah, because I want the hotel to be the real portal into these virtual worlds, which are going to be a mishmash of the Latin American music and the art and the culture. So
I also imagine Sony has a booth there with a holographic screen.
yeah,
I think if there was like a huge holographic screen on the on the stage, that'd be ideal.
awesome. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I think we're out of time, but thank you very much. Great questions. Hopefully you have also more ideas, some of you. So please approach me here. I'll be here for the next 2 days. I'm on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to talk, grab a coffee together. Thank you very much.